it's not as if I will not get it, right? So, the deal is that in medicine, the competition is still very, very intense, right? There are lakhs of students who are vying for some hundreds of thousands of seats. There is state quota, there are other kinds of problems from going from one state to study medicine in another state, right? The dispute regarding the central government and the state government has obviously reached the courts, and the courts have finally decided that yes, there is going to be a central entrance exam for all medical graduates, right? There is going to be a central exam, but as of now, certain states have been exempted. Karnataka and Tamil Nadu are two notable exceptions. They don't have to do it this very year, but in the future, in a couple of years, they will in all probability be expected to do it, right? So, competition is intense and will require a lot of preparation on your part, right? Biology will require you to remember a lot of things, and physics and chemistry come along with their attached challenges, right? So it is a great profession, it is a noble profession, but it is not the kind of decision you can make lightly, right? The entrance procedure itself is tedious and the professional degree is even more hard, right? So if you want to be a doctor, let it not just be a vague dream. Let it be a motivating factor, let it be something that you want to pursue with all your heart. And you're ready to put in the time and the effort and the hard work which comes attached with it, right? It will require you to put in some 6 to 8 hours, 6 to 8 years of your career, but the rewards will be worth it. Because you will be a valuable asset to the society as well as your family, right? Everyone wants a doctor in their family, right? That is it. So you will be highly respected for that. Now, another downside will be, you will make a lot of money apparently, obviously, that once you have become a top lawyer, you will get a lot of pay compensation, you will be paid a lot of money, right? The downside would be that you will not have a lot of private life, right? Because as a doctor, you are supposed to be on call. And if your patient is in need, you are expected to go in and save that patient, irrespective of whether you have plans for the weekend or you are going away for a holiday or all of those things. Those things take a backseat, obviously, right? That has attached to the nature of the profession itself, right? These are the two main traditional options which people always tend to follow. But let me talk to you about some other options which are available, which have come up in the market, and let's see where do they stand in our current analysis and what can be done, what kind of careers you can have in those respects, right? And then after that, we will come down to our discussion regarding law, right? Okay. So one of the most famous alternatives, especially for those who are graduating in economics, is BBA, right? I'm sure most of you have heard of BBA, which is Bachelor's of Business Application, right? And it is considered to be a precursor or a base degree leading up to an MBA, right? Now, in the current job market which we are facing, even engineers are expected to go for an MBA because their basic qualification of BE is not good enough, right? For that, you must understand what is management and why is it so important. Management might be of human resources, or it might be of economic resources, or it might be of social resources, right? Forest resources, natural resources also require some form of management. And now, in the current situation, there are qualifications or specializations available for regarding management in all these specific areas, right? BBA is a highly desirable option for those who have already made up their mind that they are going to work in the corporate field, they are going to work in the business field, right? So either you do some basic qualification and then go for an MBA, or you do the basic degree first, the BBA, and then do the MBA, which will add strength to your MBA degree itself, right? Because most people who are pursuing MBA in this country or abroad are doing it because it's something which they are expected to do, or which they are forced to do. Because their basic degree does not hold enough value, that is the only reason they are going for an MBA. But for those who are doing a basic degree in BBA, an MBA is the next logical process. It's the next logical step. Why? Because it is an extension of their core specialization. Business application. Running any business or running any company is complex, right? You need to take care of the economics part, you need to take care of the human resources part, and you need to take care of the legal part. If you start a business or if you take over and start managing a business, you will need to be an expert at handling all such technicalities, right? You will constantly need to negotiate with people in terms of the new contracts. You will need to negotiate and enter into demand and supply contracts along with your suppliers, with your customers, right? All other aspects are there. Then you should have a very good working knowledge of the balance sheets and how accounts book are kept, right? You are required to have a very good understanding of memorandum of association, articles of association, and all those documents which give birth to any business or which help in the efficient running of that business, right? You will need to have some grasp about accounting and auditing, right? And how compliance is done, how regulations have to be followed, and how you have to make sure that you avoid paying the most amount of tax, right? That is the most important consideration for any business. You would rather have no profit than end up paying a lot of tax and giving the money away without adding anything to the shareholder value, right? So, those who either want to start a business or are going to be attached in a business or are going to take over a business, BBA is highly desirable. Because it's going to give you the kind of practical skills which are very much required in the field itself. But in addition to that, BBA is not the only kind of option which is available. Now, as we were talking about the hybrid programs and with the advancement in the world, the requirement for different perspectives, BBA is not simply a degree anymore. It's available in other forms where it comes attached with other skills. For example, the BBA LLB degree. The BBA LLB degree is a hybrid program giving you expertise in law as well as business management, right? It is an integrated program for 5 years. So you save a year and you get a dual qualification, right? Which automatically pushes your expertise level. So not only you know about the business application part of it, but you are an expert at the legal part of it, right? In terms of compliance, in terms of documentation, and in terms of profit sharing. All of that will be a big boost if you also have the legal training, right? We will talk about that. Now, in addition to that, there is hotel management, right? Hotel management for some generations it was seen as an option only fit for those who know how to cook or who want to cook. Right? In fact, I've heard like some very creative insights wherein they say that why don't you go to a halwai and start learning how to make sweets instead of doing hotel management, right? But that kind of jokes come from people who are not aware of the hospitality industry itself and how it has grown leaps and bounds, right? You need not be a cook in a kitchen after graduating in hotel management. As I said, for any management degree, you will be mastering a certain resource. So when you go for hotel management, you are mastering the resource of the hospitality industry, wherein you decide what is the demand. How many of you have heard of OYO rooms? OYO rooms? A lot of you, right? Some years before, it was not even in existence, right? Or it was a very small business entity. But someone had the vision. The founder and the runner of that company, he had this vision and he had this idea that hospitable industry in this country is about to explode. There is going to be a requirement of standardized hotels and standardized suites of a certain standard, quality of food, quality of accommodation, and quality of experience itself. Right? Typically, a lot of us have been on holidays and we have been disappointed by the quality of service given. Right? So he identified this core area and now it is a multi-million-dollar company with venture capitalists investing a lot of money in this business model. Why? Because there is still a lot of scope. If you look at the economic aspects, you will see that even in recession, even at the height of recession, the expenditure in every section went down. But expenditure in food, beverages and the tourism industry did not slow down. So even in the face of recession, not only in India but in US, in Europe and in a lot of other countries, the cost of this sector has not come down, the profitability of this sector has not come down, right? Now obviously all of you have heard of Greece, right? Greece is so important, Greek mythology, Greek plays, democracy, the birthplace of democracy, the birthplace of philosophy, all those ideas are there. Western philosophy obviously, Eastern philosophy came much before the Greeks discovered it, right? But are you aware that Greece is facing a problem? How many of you are aware of the Greek crisis here? Right? Okay, that shows a very good level of awareness among you. I'm very happy to see that students here are aware. So Greek economy is facing a crisis. Why? Because since the time they held the Olympics, they have been not able to break even. They have been incurring debt again and again. And you know what is the leading industry of Greece? Tourism. Tourism is one of the leading industries of Greece, right? Because of the beautiful valleys they have, the beautiful earlier settlements, the ruins, everything, the whole extremes. It is